Before we get into today's episode, I want to shout out our sponsor, Miami Gaming Parties, because you deserve a customized gaming experience. Miami Gaming Parties delivers private custom video game tournaments for gamers and their lucky guests, and this is truly custom. You can pick the game and package, premium or black tie VIP, for 8 to 16 people. And they bring it all. Everything from PS5s to trophies for the winners. Play at home or at a venue of your choosing with free on-site consultation. Perfect for birthday parties, bachelor parties, anniversaries, corporate events, anything you want. If I have a wedding, I may ask them to do my wedding. Run a Melee tournament. That'd be awesome. Remember to check out MiamiGamingParties.com for more information. On Twitter @GamingParties and on Instagram @Miami_Gaming_Parties, or search Miami Gaming Parties on Facebook. I've talked to Colin and his team, and they come from esports as I come from esports, and I know they care about the customer. They care about gaming and the products. Honestly, knowing how difficult it is to run a tournament, the fact that they provide everything up front from equipment to bracket running, you don't know how incredibly laborious that is and how time consuming it is. So, shout out to this amazing business idea that they're doing, and make sure to check them out. If it's something that you might be interested in, give them a shout. Check out their website again, MiamiGamingParties.com, because you deserve a customized gaming experience. Now on to the podcast as Heat win.
It feel like Miami.
Miami, 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 Miami.
It feel like Miami.
Welcome to the MHB Postgame Show. I'm your host, Giancarlo Navas, and with me today, you might not know him if you don't tune in to the pregame show, Pregaming. We got someone new on board. We're kind of introducing Lou to the pod and the postgame audience. We got Coach Lou. What's up, my man?
What is up, man? Your hat says it best.
We
are back.
We're back, baby. We're back. We're champs. We beat the worst team in the league, dude. It's over.
That's right. 13 points.
13 points. Vegas had them favored by 14. They always know. It's crazy. I don't understand. It takes a weird way to get there, but they always know, dude.
But we won.
We're won.
Back.
We beat the worst team in the league. 10th double-digit win of the season, according to chat. Chat producing for me. Shout out to Men Delcy in chat. Resubscribed at Prime for 7 months. We love to see it. We love that kind of support out here. Man, Lou, I don't even know where to get to start. So I was shitting on them. I was shitting on them early because I did not like how bad their defense was and how close Detroit kept it. And then let's talk about the ebbs and flows of this game, because Jimmy kind of only clocked in for the fourth.
Hilarious.
Mailed it in for the first 3 quarters. It turned it up. I was so mad at them the way the game flowed back and forth. I was like, stop letting these people believe in themselves. And Jimmy comes in, shuts the fucking door, dude. He's the biggest troll in the league.
Oh man, he's an absolute comedy show to watch, man. It's amazing.
I hate it.
You can hate it, man. I'm so glad he's on our team, bro. He's just pure. It's entertainment at its finest. He was, what did he shoot? Like 2 shots in the first half. Like he had 2 points, and then he's like, you know what? The third quarter was like a little warm up, and he's like, all right, let's go time.
So unaggressively interested in scoring. He looked like he we've all had days at work where we wake up and we're like, you know what? I don't want to fucking go to work today. And we go in the office and we don't do shit. We have days where we mail it in. But this man had a deadline at 4:30 and fucking schmooved.
No, he put the work in there, definitely in the final 6 minutes of the game. He only clocked in for 6 minutes, but hey, man. Then, like you said, he was just, I don't even know what happened. The first half, he was the most, I don't know if he was watching some like Steve Nash highlights or Rondo. He was just driving. He's like, the guy wasn't even open. He was just passing the ball. Jimmy's right next to him. He's like, Struce, you got this one. It was it was interesting to watch.
That was classic Jimmy. Jimmy was like, when you're at work, we all have this coworker that like watches a little too much YouTube at the office on the clock. And Jimmy for 3/4 was watching like how you make it videos or some shit, or was watching like Bon Appetit. He was watching shit that he should have been watching at work. And his boss taps on the shoulder and goes, hey, Jim, we're gonna need that report by 5. And this man put him up. He did it. Lou, if we're not happy about tonight, then when are we allowed to be happy? Because it's not just me. The Smolnik says we hired Louis C.K.
Nah, bro.
I don't want any surprises. I don't want any. I don't want to have to cancel you.
This is hilarious.
Yeah, dude. But if we can't be happy for today, Lou, I don't know when the fuck we can be happy. Because in a season as up and down as this one, if we can't laugh at this, what can we laugh at?
Nah, it was pure comedy today. That's what it felt like. Who was trying to guard him? Omura. Anyways,
a lot of people were trying to guard him.
The guy wearing 97. I don't know if you've ever played 2K with the old school teams, and they just put like a generated player and they give him like 97. That's what he looked like, man. He was out there. He was out there hustling. He was trying, but he just could not. He could not contain. Once Jimmy got into that mode, it was raps for Detroit.
Oh, Omoru.
Yes.
Omoyi?
Yes.
Listen, you guys can make fun of me. I can't. Yeah.
I can't say his name either. That's why I apologize.
Number 97 for the Pistons. Eugene.
Yeah. Eugene. There you go. Eugene. He looked like a created player on 2K. It was just pure comedy with the number. My dad was like, 97? What? Are we watching basketball? I was like, I don't know. Maybe it's a summer league number. I don't know.
Lou, I wanted to be mad at them in the first quarter because I was like, why is this game tied? Like, this is, is Jimmy doing the classic, I'm going to play, but I'm going to play bad, and then I'm going to take the next 2 days off because my knee hurts or some shit. And I was just upset at the defensive effort. I was upset that Zeller didn't get minutes. I was just upset at Lowry doing stupid ass fouls. And they end up stretching the lead to like, I believe it was 17 at the highest.
Yes.
And I'm like, right, Lou, at that point, it's so funny because if the Heat are down 10, that feels like a fucking mountain to climb. And if they're up 17, I'm like, no lead is safe.
No.
How did you feel up 17? Against this god awful team.
Literally exactly the same way you felt. We just managed to always like let our foot off the gas. Me and Frankie were talking about how like the team just can't string 4 good quarters together.
No.
And that first quarter was like, it wasn't good, but also wasn't awful because it was like tied. Like we weren't down. And then we start off that second quarter specifically with Love at the 5, which is super interesting. The way they went 8 people today, that's a shocker. And we were while Love did not do anything himself, particularly in terms of shot making. We went to zone, we hit him in zone, and we were just the offense was flowing. Everybody had space to drive. It looked beautiful for a second there, but then per usual, the foot gets off the gas, and the Pistons came right back.
So their zone is really good. When Bam's particularly on the court, their zone would be the best half court defense in the league if it was stretched out, for the entirety of their defensive possession. So I know that Frankie had talked about him wanting to see more zone, and I know he had tweeted about it. I think it makes sense when their defense is struggling like this to kind of mix in the zone. Also, I think I don't think Miami plays the zone, Lou, and I know that you've coached a little bit. I don't think that they play a zone that's particularly good for conserving your energy. It's a very active zone.
Yeah, 100%. Specifically for the 2 people at the top of the key. It's typically one or the other, but they're always like constantly like trying to get over your ball screens. They're fighting. Sometimes they press, specifically if it's Vincent. But they're very active. They help a lot from the corners, which is also not something you typically want to do. But they make it work. They do make it recover. Love drew, I think, 2 charges in that zone. So
he drew 4 for the game, I think, wasn't it? I know Eric Reed was.
Yeah, he was very and that's kind of the thing. He can't move his feet, so if he's just standing there, he's gonna take a charge.
He better.
That's the least he could do because he's not blocked. I stand corrected. He actually blocked 1 shot today.
He did.
I must have missed it. No, I think it was in the second quarter. I think somebody helped him though. They gave it to him. I think Caleb might have assisted him on that block. But it was interesting to see them specifically not play Zeller after he just had an absolutely monstrous game.
Spo does that, bro. Spo does that. Like with Duncan, he does that. It's with white people. It's just totally. No Depot again, by the way.
Yeah.
That's been something on watch. We talked about that. Yeah, so the 8 he played were Butler, Strus, Adebayo, Hero, Vincent, Lowry, Love, and Caleb Martin. No Highsmith, no Oladipo, no Duncan, and no Cody Zeller, who I like Zeller a lot. And I
Love him.
I don't know how I feel about playing Love at center minutes over Zeller at center minutes.
I have a theory on this, as a matter of fact.
I'd love to hear it.
I feel like the Heat already know what they have in Zeller, but they're trying this because specifically against a team like this where they have, the Pistons, Wiseman and Durant, or Durant specifically, he's an absolute monster. Wiseman is very good too offensively. So my theory is they wanted to try this because they're going to cut Yurtseven and bring somebody else on. And I think they're just trying to see if Love is fit enough to play some of the fives so they don't have to bring back another five. I don't know. Maybe I'm just overthinking it, but I always like, a little bit of forward thinking doesn't hurt. And I think it kind of worked as much as it shouldn't, but it kind of did, specifically offensively.
I think it was a little strange when they signed both Love and Zeller. Well, I think the intention was to start Love and then to play Zeller as a backup 5. It kind of became clear that, they can't start Kevin, but now they're using as a backup 5, which I know has good offensive numbers per the lineup data. I have reservations when they play Boston or Milwaukee. I think they could probably get away with it against Milwaukee in non-Giannis minutes. Like if you match Bam and or even then, I don't know, because then you have Holiday making your life hell. I just think against good playoff teams, that becomes a little bit difficult. Even if you have Jimmy, Kyle in the game, that means I don't think you can have Hero in those lineups. You have to go to a ton of zone. I have questions.
And rightfully so.
And especially without Oladipo, because I think Oladipo's another guy who helps you on defense to help hide that. But they've just kind of had to skew offense because, that was clearly a problem that needed fixing.
Yeah, it's interesting because they played 8 people and 3 of them were, typically average to below average offenders with Strus, Tyler, and Love there. But I do think they want to see this because at the same time, this allows a lot of space on the floor. That floor was very properly spaced, and it was a thing of beauty to watch how the offense was typically flowing, even when they were setting some pin downs for Love, so he can even go back door and get himself going and stuff like that. So it's nice to see offensively what this lineup can do. I do think it's just Spoelstra being kind of like Spoelstra and being like, I think our zone can negate some of our bad defenders by putting our 2 best defenders in constant ball actions at the top of the zone. So I kind of see why they're doing this. I don't know how much it's going to work either, but it worked today, I guess.
Chat. Okay, so chat's giving me some. Listen, I'm going to tell you something, chat. I fucking love you guys. You know why? Because I can't have my eye on everything. And I have Cardliana in chat saying that's lost. That's huge.
Yes.
That's huge. That's big time. That's huge for Miami. The 6th seed is maybe foolishly alive. Miami's down a game and a half for 6. I say a game and a half because technically it's a game behind, but Miami's going to need to get, because they don't have the tiebreaker against Brooklyn. So they're going to need to kind of pick up that half game. So they're going to need Brooklyn to lose one more time, and they're going to have to win out. I have Cali U in chat saying we really went 8 deep against Detroit. Yeah, we did. And still, if it wasn't for Jimmy heroics, did you see Jimmy at the end of the game taking a picture with the baby?
I did not. I turned
Some
the TV
dude
off after that.
courtside really needed Jimmy to take a picture with his baby, and he stood the baby up. The baby clearly cannot stand up by himself, and Jimmy is taking this picture with this kid, and then Jimmy hands the baby back, like it was a basketball he signed, and he hands the baby back into the loving arms of this father. And it was very funny and very wholesome.
Was that the person he was talking to halfway through that run in the 4th quarter where he looked over there and he was just kind of like, I don't remember what he said, but he was looking over at somebody on the sideline. I'm guessing it was somebody courtside. That dude was probably a Jimmy fan. He was hyping him up.
No, yeah, I think for sure they were. I think the kid was wearing a Pistons jersey though.
Oh man, he was probably just talking. He was, it's Jimmy, man. He doesn't let anything slide.
So Callie says Jimmy was also covering the baby's Detroit logo for the photo. Most
Oh,
Jimmy
my-
Butler thing ever, dude. I love Jimmy, bro. I gotta
they
be honest
saved
with
him.
you. In the hell that has been this season, I love Jimmy. I love Jimmy doing weird shit like playing Nickelback in the locker room. I love him covering the logos on little babies' jerseys as he takes pictures of them. I love him going to Argentina making coffee. I love him and his weirdness. I never want that man to leave.
Nah, he deserves his jersey hung up in the rafters.
Oh,
down here for sure.
100%. I want him to retire here. I hope they
Yes.
never. I know that, and I had a tweet about this when it was being talked about. I don't even think trading him is like a bad move if like you really think that like you're stuck and you can't win, and like you just really need to like shake things up to give Bam a chance as Jimmy ages out into Supermax contract. I like literally don't care. I just want to watch that guy hoop until he decides he doesn't want to anymore.
Yeah, I agree. I want him here as long as he wants to stay here. Please let him stay here. He could be UD out here with 43 years old playing Nickelback. I don't care. 35-year-old Bam's gonna have to deal with it.
Did you see they were up like whenever they were up like 17, they like panned to Udonis. Oh, Udonis Haslam, watching his Heat up 17. He looked so angry. It's like he knew, bro. He was like, in that moment, I understood what it was like to be Udonis Haslam because I too had that same face watching it, and I know he was thinking what I'm thinking. These motherfuckers are gonna blow this.
Yeah,
and they did.
He was probably upset. Me and Franco were joking. He was probably upset because he couldn't get to play today, man. Today should have been the UD game in Detroit that we've been waiting for. This used to be a rivalry back when he was in his prime, young UD with the braids. We needed that UD out there today, man. And
UD with
unfortunately, the team stopped him.
I miss it, man. Man. Unlogical says Luke Babbitt to the rafters. Listen, I will say something about the Luke Babbitt era. It was some of Eric Reed's best material. I believe at one point he said pulled a Babbitt out of his hat.
Bro,
he was in his bag
commenting.
Eric Reed was waiting for the day, Lou, where he can make Luke Babbitt puns.
Bro, I think he should have won Commentator of the Year award that year. That was by far the best commentary season he's ever had. Him and Tony.
His last year with Tony was great because Tony was already cooked. Tony was done, dude. And Eric being annoyed with Tony was some of the
hilarious,
best. Dude. Looking at some stats wasn't that season, but I really think that was the beginning of the end.
Oh man, it was hilarious. It would Tony would say something and Eric would have to correct him right after.
But you know what's funny, dude? Now Eric is like confusing. Eric's calling like Bam Gabe Vincent. You know what I mean? Like Polterghost says Tony was beyond cooked. I know, but that's why it was a career year for Tony. I had never laughed and enjoyed a broadcast more than that year. It was, to me, it was much watched TV just for them.
I got a crazy low. So I used to work at the Heat Arena, for those of you that don't know me. And we used to get access to the practice court, man. And specifically, Luke Babbitt, to this day, holds the record for most threes made out of 100 threes. He made 94 of them. I have a picture somewhere on my phone. He made 94 out of 100 threes. And they would still let him shoot, and he was still not cooking out there, man. I don't know what happened to Luke, man. He was told.
It's always those dudes, man. And let me tell you something. Those are the best guys in the locker room to talk to when I was covering the team on a regular basis. Guys like him, guys like, I tell this all the time, Ryan Anderson, you need a quote after a game. You need a quote before a game. You need Ryan Anderson you need something for a story. You talk to Ryan. Ryan will fucking give it to you. I was waiting for Jay Rich, and I was in the locker room. I was chopping it up with Gogi. Then Gogi left, and it's just me, Ryan Anderson, in the locker room. And he's like, "Who are you waiting for?" And I was like, "Josh." He's like, he takes a while. I go, "Yeah, I know." And he's like eating like cheese cubes. He's like, "I got nothing for you today. I didn't even play."
He knew what he came here for.
I love Ryan Anderson. He was hilarious, dude. Shout out to Ryan Anderson. Shout out to Coach Tony. I miss Coach Tony. I thought Brendan Tobin made a poll the other day after Jimmy and Zeller went nuts, and it was like greatest duos in Heat history is like Wade LeBron, Eric and Tony, Jimmy and Zeller. I was disappointed at all you people that didn't vote Eric and Tony.
100%.
My goats, bro. My goats. Low key, man. I think Crotty having a career year.
I'm a fan. He has it.
I'm not a fan, but I gotta admit, I think Crotty's killed it this year. I'm not gonna lie. I think Crotty's been good.
I was gonna say I think he's the, how do I say this nicely? He's having a Kyle Lowry last year. Where,
You know what? I agree with that.
It was
A little
bit better than expected, but at the same time it kind of tailed off towards the end. I don't know, man. But Crotty is.
He did have a
I don't know, describe it.
at one point tonight he said an ankle turn injury type situation. That I was like, he did that for the fans. That was for the fans.
Bro, for everything he says, give and go. Or what is it? Catch and go. What a catch and go move. I had never heard that in my life.
Catch and go? No, I've heard catch and go. He does overuse it though.
But it was for everything. Like the guy would just catch it and literally take one dribble to the side and inbound pass. Like, what a catch and go move here by Gabe Vincent to get that entry pass. I'm like, oh my God.
Catch and go. He like really puts his body into like every consonant.
I love our announcers though.
I love E. Reed, and I've always said like the day Eric stays until the day he doesn't want to do it anymore. He's a lifer. Same with Jose Pineda. Shout out to Jose Pineda. Pineda also one of the nicest fucking guys ever. You're so generous with his time. And the day Eric doesn't want to do it, I think the organization, the first call they need to make is they need to call Mark Jones and say, Mark Jones, do you want to do this? Because to me, that's the fit. And I don't know how we ended up here on a night that the Heat win by double digits. But
it's the best combos.
Yeah. But yeah. I don't know, man. Do you have anything on Detroit? I don't really know, man. They beat a team that wasn't really an NBA team. Brooklyn lost. Philly's losing. Atlanta's up 9. I don't know, man. It's a good win in the sense of like they win by double digits, man. It's a good win. They stink.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They won. That's why it's a good win because they won.
They won.
Like we can't be beggars can't be choosers, but I mean for this same reason this is why you want to see Jimmy in the playoffs, guys. Like, come on. The guy is entertaining. He's an absolute monster when he wants to be. And today I want to give props to first half Gabe Vincent for coming out there and hooping.
Shout out to first half Gabe Vincent.
First half
chat. Round of applause for first half Gabe Vincent.
Yeah. I don't know what he was doing pregame, but he needs to do that halftime as well because he was on. He was not missing. He was driving to the rim, hitting floaters. It's like I'll be damned.
Chad, I'm still getting over my cold, so please bear with me as I cough my lungs out. He needs to keep that up the whole game. Well, yeah. Gabe was like plus 19 or some shit.
He was. I will say, Lowry took the reins in the fourth quarter a little bit. Shout out to fourth quarter Lowry.
Shout out to fourth quarter Lowry. But yo, everybody in chat, give it up for fourth quarter and like last 3 minutes, Jimmy.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Standing ovation for last 3 minutes, Jimmy. The last jumper Jimmy hit was unnecessary.
And he just did it. He just turned around and started.
Didn't even celebrate, bro.
Yeah, he just looked at him and just walked off.
It would have been so funny.
It's hilarious.
If he just like started like singing Nickelback. If Jimmy, listen, I hope Jimmy's saving this for the playoffs or some shit. I'm telling you, guys, I don't want to get ahead of myself. Let's just say he win the play-in and they get to play Boston in the first round. I'm just going to tell you something. If it's game 2 on the road in Boston and Jimmy fucking finesses his way to a win and it's tied 1-1 going to Miami, I'm going to tell you something. I know enough Celtic fans to know they're going to be shitting their fucking pants.
Bro,
I'm telling you, man.
They're going to be pacing.
And I know everyone, the conversation is like, do we take for a draft pick? Fine, whatever. But think about how fun tied 1-1 coming home is. Maybe they lose the next 3 games. I don't know. But those 2 days, 3 days leading up to tied 1-1 going home, I'm going to live off that shit for like all summer.
Oh, yeah. If the Heat go into a series and they're 1-1 with any of those teams that they can play, it's going to be the best anybody felt about the team since like November.
I
October before the season
none
started.
of us will believe in them because we know the truth. Like, we know they're going to come home and, like, fucking lay an egg and score, like, 86 points or some shit. But the lead up, like, they're going to be good. I think Jimmy's good. And I tweeted this out, Lou. He's going to make someone's life hell.
Yeah.
Someone's going to they're not leaving that. I don't think the Heat are going to win. But there's a team there that's not going to leave that series unscathed.
I completely agree. I was gonna say if we play, I don't think it doesn't. I mean, unless we get to the 6th seed, we can play Philly. Doc Rivers is losing his voice that series completely.
Oh, dude, Paul in chat's like, what if they win game 1 with a bunch of eye emojis?
Oh,
do you see what a win against the worst team in the NBA has us talking?
49th Street is gonna be packed.
Oh,
I
dude,
will be there. Game 1 win.
Bird Road is gonna be so lit.
Everybody knows I'm from Hialeah.
Bird Road's lit 3 times, right? When either a Trump rally, an anti-vax rally, or the Heat win. One of those 3 events. I love your chat.
Bird Road.
We know Bird Road, man. We know in front of that. We've all been there. We've all seen it. Listen, yeah, if he win game 1, propaganda's back, baby. Propaganda's back. I'm telling you, man, they beat a bad team, and now we're talking dangerous.
Yeah,
that's what it's about.
As my friends like to say, we're moving shiesty. 100%.
We're schmoving. We're moving shiesty.
We're schmoving shiesty.
We're schmoving. Chad asked me to. Cardeliana said, "G, check the Wisconsin election." Funny enough, I have a friend that literally works in campaigning for the governor of Wisconsin, and I was like, "How are the elections?" And he goes, "Janet is crushing it." I don't know who that is, but that
You got me there, man.
Okay, well, apparently it's good that Janet is winning. So, okay, congratulations to Wisconsin. That was a Supreme Court. It was a big Supreme Court decision. So, shout out to the good guys. Shout out to my homie who works, campaigning and shit. That's a hard life, man. Campaigning
must be difficult. That's like marketing, but for governors. That's kind of what it's.
Being on the road stuff. All right, so we've gone all over the place today. We appreciate the love from all y'all in chat today. We appreciate the Heat giving us a reason to actually be happy and not come on. If they had lost, listen, we're talking about winning a game in Boston today. Imagine if they had lost to Detroit. Imagine if Jimmy doesn't put the cape on. Imagine how we're talking.
We're talking about why is Wembanyama not on the Heat's radar? That's going to be the conversation. That's going to be
on the pod yesterday. Everybody better hope to God that Wembanyama kid ends up in like fucking Houston or some shit. If he goes to Orlando, we're all fucked.
I hate that I agreed with you when you said that, bro. If he goes to Orlando, we already struggle to beat Orlando. I saw somebody earlier say we're gonna win out and then lose to Orlando.
Oh, 100%. Orlando last day of the season, that's an L. You look at that like first day of the year, you're like big fat L. No way.
Ending the season off on a nice little L right there. Yeah, don't put that into existence.
That's gonna be my Joker moment. If they have a legit shot, like if Brooklyn loses another game, let's say Brooklyn. Yeah. I think Brooklyn plays Detroit tomorrow. Fantastic.
I'm gonna be a Pistons fan tomorrow for sure.
I'm a Pistons lifer. I'm a what's that guy's name? Liver.
Isaiah Livers.
Yeah, Isaiah Livers. I'm an Isaiah Livers lifer.
Oh yeah,
tomorrow
he turned his ankle, came back, 2 threes.
I'm a Wiseman lifer.
Yeah, Detroit, Orlando, and Philly are their last 3.
So and Brooklyn will be on a back-to-back coming off a loss. If they win out, if Miami wins out and Brooklyn drops 1 and they lose to Orlando the last day of the season, it's my Joker moment.
Oh man, that's gonna be, and that will literally be the biggest like.
Of course.
What one game defines this Heat season? It would be that.
Oh, it'd be that one. It would be that one.
100%.
It's for sure they're gonna have a lead. They're gonna have like a 12-point lead in the third. Like going into the third quarter, they're gonna have a 12-point lead, and they're not gonna score, and it's gonna be all starters, and then they're gonna mount a fake comeback, and they're gonna like fall short by like 3.
Yeah, and then Franz Wagner, out of all people, is
if the Pistons win tomorrow, I will get an Ivy jersey, and I'll wear it on stream. I wear it on stream for the play-in. I'll do it.
I love Jaden Ivey. I would have said Duren because that's my guy. But hey, man, I can't go wrong with Ivy. He was a problem for us today. Shout out to Caleb for shutting that down in the fourth because we needed
Just shout
that.
out to Caleb in general. One of the few guys who really I'm not mad at this season.
The fourth best player on the Heat this year. I'm pretty sure it's. I feel very comfortable saying he's been the fourth best player this season.
Guys, who would be the fourth best player on the Heat this season? I guess it depends on the time. I feel like it's in waves, right? Because at a time,
I agree.
right?
I think there's a better way for. He's been the fourth most consistent player on the Heat.
I think that's good.
I
'Cause,
think
like,
I'll say that.
I think like there was a point where Vic was the fourth best player on the team.
Yeah.
I think
yeah.
there was a point where Kyle was. I think there was a point when Cody Zeller was on Saturday.
No, he was the second best player on the Heat on Saturday. Come on now.
Like I know Vic had some stretches.
Yeah.
I think Gabe had some stretches when he had first gotten the starting job. When they, he was very consistent for them. So it kind of depends. But Caleb's been good this year. So shout out to Caleb.
Super consistent.
Shout out to the Heat. And yeah, man, Lou, tell the pod audience where to find you because there are some people that don't get to tune into pregame, and they're listening to your voice for the first time. Where can they find you? Like, where can they, if they want more Lou, where can they go?
Oh man, if you want more Lou, man, go to Twitter at Saucy Takes with a Z, and all together, no spaces. Takes at the end with the Z. And man, I'm always active on Twitter, specifically around draft season. That's kind of my draft season. Summer League, I watch every Summer League game, so obviously every Heat game. And if there's any Ravens fans out here, I know y'all see the jersey. It's covered now because it's we're talking about the Heat, but but just know it's Lamar. Just know it's
Ravens
Lamar.
Nation stand up. Jags Nation
Yeah.
for me stand up. But shout out to the Dolphins. Hope y'all have a nice little season this year.
Sure.
Apparently
What
your
do you
receiving core is really good. I don't know too much about the Dolphins, but Waddle and the other guy's good. So good for you. Yeah. Shout out to Duval. Shout out to Trev. That's my boy.
Ooh.
I have a love-hate relationship with him, but we'll see how this goes.
I'm shocked he's not on any Head and Shoulders commercials, man.
Yeah, he has to. I mean, whoever's doing marketing for him has just done a bad
Fumbling
Yeah,
the
no,
bag.
I mean,
That agent needs to be fired.
luscious, beautiful hair. We got to get Trevi on more stuff. But shout out to everybody. And tomorrow we have a pod. I've been promising an explanation of the new CBA. The new CBA has not been released yet. And I'm still waiting on that. So I may come on tomorrow with Brian Goins, answer some of your preliminary questions. But we're gonna hold off on doing like a full breakdown of it because we're gonna need to wait until the text is out there so we can read it, and more importantly, read Larry Kuhn explain it to us so that we can then explain it to you guys. That's how this goes. We'll digest it to then digest it again. Well, think of us like mama birds. We're gonna chew up the information of the CBA, put it back into Chat's little birdie mouths. So,
There you go.
Just Chat's gonna leave. Love y'all. See you tomorrow for an MHB pod, and then hangover time on Thursday against the Philadelphia 76ers. Fuck Philly, fuck Embiid, and I say this all the time. I tweeted today, I fucking hate the Sixers for no reason. And somebody asked me, why did you tweet this? What prompted this? And I said, I just remembered that I hate the Sixers more than I love anything on this earth. Remember that. See you on Thursday.
Yeah.